kneel to you. God did not give these children to you to protect. He gave them to the parents. He didn't give them to the state. This isn't Germany. This is America. Where's the church? Where's the neighbors? Where's the family? You know why these wicked agencies are even allowed to do what they do? Because we, the church, aren't doing our job.
That's right.
When we, the church, when we do our job, right, and a child is suffering and we don't say, I'm calling CPS. We say, I'm calling my pastor.
Amen.
I'm going to find the best family in this church to take this child in.
Amen.
Screw the state. And screw all the wicked officials that think they're God. You will bow your knee to Jesus Christ someday. And it will either be in forgiveness or it will be in judgment. And that is up to you.
Sorry, everybody. Trying to get adjusted
Christine
here.
Landers, come out and talk to us about James Dixon. Talk to us about the trial that just got stopped.
So she's been on the phone
Talk to us about you getting him to sign over consent for Kylie's surgery, even though he had a restraining order himself for sexually abusing Kylee as a child. Come out, Christine, and talk to us about that. I'll answer your questions. I'll tell you what I was doing at OHSU. I'll tell you what I've got planned. I don't have anything to hide. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and we're here to disinfect your wickedness. We're here to shine light onto it and to expose what you and dirty Marty McMahon have been up to. What were you guys doing the night of the 15th? Because you sure as hell weren't by Kylie's side when she was being transferred to the ICU. What were you doing when you were calling security, telling them that we were a threat outside? Were you inside protecting Kylee? Or were you here hiding in your little 1-acre piece of privacy that you have in Oregon City?
Welfare check.
Christine Landers, are you on drugs? Will you come out and submit to a sobriety test?
Welfare check.
Are your children being abused? What do you have going on in that house behind those woods, Christine? I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. You got private property signs everywhere. What are you afraid of? Why don't you want people coming up to your house and kicking in your door and taking your children away? What, you think that's only something organized crime does? What do you have to hide? Open your doors. Let us come in and visit with you, Christine Landers. What do you have to hide? You record every single one of the conversations between Christine Dixon and her daughter. They're transcribed. You read every one of them. What have you said to your kids? Do you spank them? Is there any moldy granola bars? You know, we had one report that moldy granola bars that were in a back cupboard showed up on somebody's house visit, and it even got brought into court. Do you have any moldy granola bars? You got a lot of mold on your roof, Christine. Doesn't look like you're taking good care of your house. You got ivy choking out your trees. I'm concerned for your children. You let ivy choke out your trees. What's going on with your kids? Do they get regular baths and showers? Is your house clean? Come on, Christine. You do this to other families every day, but with the force of law. With guns. We don't even have guns. What are you afraid of? We got microphones and signs.
This is the right house, right?
Let us into your house. Come in and let's talk. Can we sit down? Can I go over the rape one charge that James Dixon just had dropped? Can we talk about how DHS abandoned Kylee to the hospital? Have you ever had a loved one in the hospital? Do you know how much they need an advocate by their side? Why'd Marty McMahon tell the news that he was the advocate for Kylee and he was doing what was in her best interest, but he was nowhere to be found when she was on death's door? Why? Why haven't you brought charges against Marty McMahon? Where's his neglect charges? He was the custodian at that time for Kylee. He was nowhere to be found. Read the documents, Christine. They're all there in black and white. We're not here to lie or deceive. We're just here to expose the truth. See, we've been out exposing the truth at DHS. They say we're free in this country and we have a First Amendment right? It's secured by the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't grant us that right. God gives us the right to speak freely. The Constitution preserves that right. It puts it in black and white for the government, both the state constitutions and the federal. And it secures that right for us so that they can see you can't touch their right to speak up. Christine Landers, you can't touch our right to speak up. That's what the U.S. Constitution stands for. It's for you. It's not for me. I know what my rights are. You don't know what my rights are. That's why our founders put it in black and white. I know you guys think that the Constitution was for us. We don't even need to carry it around. Our rights come from God. You need to carry it around because you keep forgetting what our rights are. They've been threatening the families at DHS, telling them if they talk to us, they don't get to visit their kids. They use threats, force, and coercion to further their agenda. Don't you, Christine? You love threats and force and coercion. Then we use our voice that we're supposed to have a right for. Oh, you're too close to the bus stop. Oh, you stepped on this property. Oh, it's actually leased by a private property owner. Oh, you can't come in here because the police are here to protect us. Show me why the police were not at the hospital protecting Kylee. Why were the police guarding the door, keeping her locked in a room when Marty McMahon wasn't there by her side? Why weren't they out screaming? Why weren't they doing what some of the nurses were doing? Who's here for this little girl? Why is nobody helping her? She's going into shock. We can't reach the caseworker. Read the documents, Christine. I did. Everybody's here at the end of the day on the government side. Who's here for the people? When we come out here for the people, what do we hear? You can't do that. That's her home. You can't step on that. There's an easement. You can't go over there. You can't use the bathroom. We'll trespass you. Who's going to trespass DHS from Kylie's life? Who? Can we call 911? Who do we call? Nobody, because we let the government get above us. There is nobody. Virginia, they're out there trying to outlaw the militia. What's the militia? The only people who are there to protect the people is the militia at the end of the day. These damn police have done nothing. Oregon State Patrol murdered Lavoie. Where's the accountability there? We don't even know who shot the other bullets because the FBI and the Oregon State Patrol are pointing the finger at each other. Who's there for the people? We're being told we can't stand here, we can't stand there. We pay the damn bills of DHS, not you. We the people pay those bills. That's our building. We enter it though, you'll shoot us because you're wicked. You'll call the police because you're wicked. That's what wicked people do with something to hide. They call in the damn Gestapo. Everybody else is too busy back in the blue to realize you're all slaves. You're all tax slaves. Slavery was never abolished. What happened when you were a slave? What was it, $200 per slave or something the property owner had to pay to the state? But they weren't getting money on their income. They weren't being able to tax their cars, any of their possessions, their food. What happened when slavery was abolished? The person was able to get their own income, pay their tax to the government, live in their own house, pay their tax to the government. Now the slave owner didn't owe them anymore. The state owned them. Tell me what part of my life is free. Tell me what part of my life I don't pay a tax or registration for at this point. I can't give food away to my neighbor without going to my master and saying, can I have my ticket of documentation, please, that I can give my neighbor some carrots? If it pleases the master. But slavery was abolished. Don't worry, you guys. No, now instead of one master, now we got 50,000 masters in each state ruling over us. And when we get out of line, what do? They call the slave patrol. You've stepped on the king's property. Please step back. They've gotten above us, America. We've been overthrown, and they've gotten above us. If they hadn't gotten above us, Kylee wouldn't have been cut into and abandoned at the hospital without her mom. And America wouldn't have been silent. Where is everybody? We have a First Amendment right. Do you use your rights? You know what happens if you don't use them? You lose them. You use it, you claim it, you use it, and then you defend it. We've stopped doing that as a country. We're constantly saying, well, we'll do whatever's legal. How did that work for Hitler? How did that work for the Gestapo during the Nuremberg trials? Is legal and lawful always the same? Is legal and moral always the same? If people don't see how important this Kylee Dixon story is, this wasn't a crazy mom who didn't support the medical professions. This is a mom who watched her daughter flatline in front of her after 6 months of treatment and took her home. Then she was ripped out of her arms. She was sexually abused in foster care. She was left by Christine Landers and Marty McMahon for dead at the hospital while OHSU got their damn tumor. And who still has legal custody of Kylee? Who in God's mind, who do you think is responsible for Kylee? It's Christine Dixon. That's who he gave her to. And she's done nothing to harm that child, and yet Kylee Dixon is still under the care of the state. Why? Because Christine Landers won't drop her false charges. So the state says she can't go home. Christine Landers, drop the charges. You are being exposed. The documents are being released. The lawsuits will be filed. The public will be notified what you have done. It is time to stop. It's time to repent. It's time to stop. It's time to set these families free. This is ridiculous, America. That tyrants like this do what they do, and this whole damn street isn't full of protesters. What happens in another country? What happens when we say a terrorist came in and he killed one of our people at our embassies? We're going to bomb him. Are you kidding? Children are being kidnapped in America and we're doing nothing about it. But, over there, Iraq, Iran, distractions, the military, they're going to get us free. How's the military working for Kylee Dixon, huh? Back the blue. How have they worked for Kylee Dixon? Tell me. Vote, vote, vote. Trump, Trump, Trump. How's that worked for Kylee Dixon? The government that has broken us is not going to be the government that saves us. It's going to be the people.
That's right, amen.
Coming out like this, being principled and saying, no, we're going to expose you. We're going to go door to door. We're going to tell your whole neighborhood what you did to that little girl. We're going to bring the papers. We're going to bring the documents. We're going to make sure when you leave this house, Christine Landers, you hang your head in shame until you repent.
Amen.
There should be nothing but shame on this house. This house is full of wickedness, demonic forces, satanic behaviors. She's a kidnapper, child molester. All of these things have been proven through the Kylee Dixon story. It's all been proven. She should be shamed. Do I want her harmed? No. If I want her harmed, I'm just as wicked as she is. So absolutely not, I don't want her harmed. Do I want her children harmed? No. Then I'd be a hypocrite. I'm out here talking about protecting children. I want her to repent. And I want her shamed every day until she repents.